Hey everybody, it's Jim. It's Amedeus. It's Wednesday, and we hope that you're having a great day. Amadeus, yesterday you called it, my friend, stepping up and winning. The Germans move on.
Yeah, who would have thought that Dortmund? I know a lot of people were on PSG yesterday, but this Dortmund team, they found a way to do it, and I'm hoping for an all German final, but we'll see what happens today with the Bayern Real Madrid matchup.
Mm-hmm. Which starts at 3 o'clock on Paramount Plus for those of you here in the U.S. And obviously the NFL kind of basically pops up every once in a while, and thought it'd be nice. CBS had put out the 2024 NFL quarterback rankings, and I thought we would have some fun going through. You want to go 1 to 10 or 10 to 1?
Let's go 10-1.
Yeah, actually, that's my apologies. They rank them all. So we will go from 32 down. All right. At number 32 on CBS's Hit Parade, the New York Giants quarterback Daniel Jones.
I think that's an accurate assessment.
I was going to say there's not much I would
he should be happy that he even has the job still.
Right.
I don't know how he does.
Given that the fact that they played with the possibility of trading that draft pick on the first round 20 times, but decided not to. Yeah. There you go.
Especially after the Tommy Cutlets saga or whatever it was, the Cutlets saga. Ooh, I don't know how he's not your starter.
Nope. Well, new coach Dave Canals in Carolina will have the opportunity to work with Bryce Young. Now, Dave was, we all know Dave from his OC job at Tampa Bay and working with our guy Baker Mayfield, and he did some wonderful things. But Bryce Young's a talented young man. I don't think that's going to change coming up this year. I think Carolina's and Bryce Young. No matter how good Bryce Young is, it's not going to help Carolina much. I mean, they'll be improved, but not a lot.
Yeah, that's fair assessment for sure. I think he's going to be one of those guys where he looked like a deer in headlights last year. Mm-hmm. Like obviously some can just get thrown in there and play like CJ Stroud, but he did not look comfortable at all. And he's definitely going to be one of those guys where he's going to need that full, 3 year, the full 3 years to grow there. So you should see some improvement from him this year. He's not going to be great, but should see improvement. But yeah, I would say actually not this season. Next season is going to be the one to watch Bryce Young because he's going to have to show some results in year 3 or he's a bust.
Yep. Bo Nix is your quarterback in Denver, and they think that Sean Payton and company are built just for what he needs to do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where others are going to be ranked yet, but I think that's a little low for Bo Nix. I get he's going to be a rookie this year, and you're really getting a question mark. But I think the numbers that he's put up throughout college, the last at least 2 seasons, especially the year he's coming off with that completion percentage, this is one of those spots where I think he should be a little bit higher. I'm not saying too much higher, but a little higher on the rankings than 29th, I would think. And looks like we're having some technical difficulties here. Jim's just disappeared for a second, so we'll wait for him to get back. I don't really have the list in front of me of the quarterbacks until he gets back. Talk a bit about the Champions League matchup. Obviously, we got Real Madrid and Bayern Munich. One German team has already punched their ticket through to the finals in London, and I mean, I've mentioned it before. I got a ticket on Bayern Munich to win the Champions League from before that round of 16 started, but we'll see. And perfect, Jim's back, so
yeah. Sorry about that.
don't have to fan.
I don't know what happened. No, I have no idea what happened. But anyway, when last I left, Gardner Minshew was our guy with the Raiders, and you had mentioned that you thought might be moved up on that list.
Yeah, just a bit. Like I obviously I don't know who's ahead of him right now, but
Right.
I mean, he's performed well in college the last 2 years, especially with that completion percentage. So we'll see what Sean Payton's supposed to be a good coach. We'll see what he does now with the guy that he got to pick.
Yep. 28, Washington Commanders' new quarterback, Jaden Daniels, the Heisman Trophy winner. The knock on Jaden is that he is a little too wiry, not quite, a big enough, bulked up enough guy to take the kind of hits he would be taking in the NFL. I would challenge that because given the fact that there's 3 quarterbacks that are very good quarterbacks, one being Lamar Jackson, that's basically the same size. So, I got nothing on that.
And similar to Lamar Jackson there, he's going to get himself out of a lot of those troubling hits with his legs.
Right. You can't hit what you can't get. And
exactly.
Jay, we'll see. They got Jacoby Brissett at 27 for the Patriots. That's
he's going to be starting. He's the Patriots starting. They draft Drake May.
Right. They said it's possible that Drake May could start, but they think that that Jacoby is going to get the call first. Next up, Derek Carr of the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, I mean,
Derek Carr. He's in 11th year. Okay, so it's a system offense. He's run the system.
He's got experience in the league.
Right. Yeah. It's there. What are you gonna do? Next up, at the 25th position, J.J. McCarthy, the new quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I was lower on J.J. McCarthy when he was shooting up in the draft. I was a little lower on him, but we'll see what he does in Minnesota. They seem to love him, think he's the perfect fit there. So we'll see how he turns out.
He's he's one of those guys that you're gonna love him, you're gonna hate him. There's not much in between when it comes to that.
Yeah, a lot of these guys so far, it's tough to rank them because you haven't seen them play in the NFL.
No.
Half of the list you've given me so far, these are all rookies that are going to be first playing this year. So only Daniel Jones, I know what I'm getting. And Derek Carr, I know exactly what I'm getting with that.
Well, we know what we're getting here when healthy, and that's the number 24th quarterback on the list, Anthony Richardson of the Indianapolis Colts. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. The funny thing is, Anthony Richardson is about the same size as Jaden is. So again, there's a disconnect here for me. All right, the number 23 quarterback on the list is the new Chicago Bears quarterback and former Heisman Trophy winner, Caleb Williams. He's the guy who they think will be their quarterback. That's at number 23.
Yeah, we can go ahead and slide him down the list. But
you can take him down a little bit. Yeah.
Bust.
Tennessee is going to have Will Levis at the quarterback position. And, he's basically a more reckless version of Josh Allen, to be honest. So I don't know how this is going to – I mean, he could be the sleeper of the draft, but he also could be just, the Ryan Leaf of the draft too. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, well, he's got the confidence for sure.
Oh, that's 100%. Okay, here we go. At 21, the 21st best quarterback in the National Football League is the man behind the center at the Arizona Cardinals, your buddy Kyler Murphy.
Yeah, we can go ahead and slide him down if he was well.
At 20, at 20, Baker Mayfield.
Wow.
I don't
disrespected
believe
our guy.
It. What an utter disrespect. The guy makes the playoffs last year. The guy has the best interception to completion rate in the conference, and was number 2 in throwing deep balls, and he doesn't get any respect. That's okay. Just go to the playoffs, Baker. Go to the playoffs.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what he did last year. It's all just, oh, well, Cleveland ruined him, so he's not a good quarterback.
Right. And oh, by the way, they brought back all of his weapons and got him a few more. So we'll have to see. Now, in front of him is Russell Wilson, who hasn't taken a snap with the Pittsburgh Steelers yet. And oh, by the way, Justin Fields might just be the guy who takes his place.
Yeah, and regardless, you got one quarterback that missed half the season, and the other one that missed half the season too with the benching. So, or the half of the second half of the season anyway. So, yeah, you got a guy. How you could put Russell Wilson ahead of Baker and a few of those other guys when coming off the season that he had? Like, I get. He's a new team, but as you put it, he hasn't played a snap for these guys. Maybe the system doesn't work there too. We talked about he's a Swiss system quarterback. So, it's just, it's interesting. Obviously, you know what you're getting with Russell Wilson, but
you don't know how it's going to work. Geno Smith, Seattle Seahawks, the 18th best. With all due respect, again, for our buddy Baker Mayfield, did Geno get them to the playoffs last year? I'm thinking not so much.
Geno got paid, and then he regressed.
Right.
As usual, it turned back into the pumpkin.
He took a dip after comeback player of the year.
Yeah, and either way, he's been paid. He's getting paid. So
yeah, no shade on Geno for getting money. That's not the problem.
No, I mean, like he's getting paid, so it doesn't matter how he comes out. He could have another bad season. I mean, he's still a decent. I still think he's a competent quarterback for them. Sure. He's definitely not terrible. Just we'll see. The Seahawks, like they always have problems, and it's not just him. It's that defense. Like they always give up the most yards in the first 8 games of the season, and then we correct it by the halfway point. But like you've already blown half the season with your defense, so you got to come out a little stronger. They also have the new coach this year, so it's going to be interesting. Obviously, what happens there.
100%. 17, Deshaun Watson, a guy who we only saw a little bit of in Cleveland. It was a gamble, but there you go. Number 16.
His contract and his saga the last 2 years in the NFL, he should just be at the bottom, regardless. Just put him behind all the rookies until you show me you deserve that money that Cleveland pissed off, every other team in the league giving you.
Yeah, good luck with that.
You got to show it.
Number 16 on the hit parade, again, a guy who falls onto the Baker Mayfield category of no respect, Matthew Stafford of the Los Angeles Rams.
So, I mean, he's streaky, but he's still very competent, I think.
Yeah.
He's got a great arm, so.
I mean, by the way, he's only 2 years out from the Super Bowl. So, all right, whatever. Number 15, TL, Trevor Lawrence for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I mean, he should continue to improve under Doug Peterson.
Yeah. Yep. We'll see how that goes. Kirk Cousins of the Falcons, 14. So don't really have much to say about that. They got Michael Penix in the bullpen.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's very mediocre in the sense where like every year he puts the numbers up but not the results.
Right. He'll get you to the cusp of the playoffs and sometimes even to the playoffs. But beyond that, forget about it. All right. Number 13, Jared Goff, Detroit Lions. The kid is playing football as good as anybody with that Lions offense. So, I think you could have probably moved Jared up a few notches here. But, we'll see. Number 12, Tua Tagovailoa, the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins. I thought that the Dolphins played well until they had to play well to get into the playoffs. I mean, they should have done better, and they didn't. And I don't know if Tua is part of that, or to what extent it falls on him. But
that's now it like he did have a great year, but now again you have this. It helps when you have this all-star track team as your wide receivers.
Yeah.
And now you've added another guy to it as well, in Odell Beckham Jr., who probably literally just is there because it's Miami and wants to live there for years. Yeah. Tired of bouncing around all these teams. He's like, I might as well go somewhere nice. He had the 1 year with the Rams in LA. He got a nice year in LA and won a Super Bowl. So he's like, maybe I can go win one in Miami with Tyreek Hill and the boys. So.
Right. Hang out at the pool.
That's the thing, right? Like I think Tua is a good quarterback. He's definitely accurate, but he lacks on the arm strength for sure. And again, as you said, they conked out in the playoffs, and with the weapons he has, he should be doing better for sure. They should have a fighting chance with those weapons.
Well, they haven't won a playoff game yet, so let's worry about that. Okay. The vice president, no, wait a minute, he's not vice president. He decided not to run. Aaron Rodgers, the New York Jets. It's hard for me to get excited about Aaron Rodgers this year. I don't think this is going to be, I don't think this is Jets team. The Jets are a good defensive team. I do not see necessarily how Rodgers, who's coming back from a leg injury, is going to, keep that elite quarterback status.
Yeah, obviously, Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback. I would put him in the top half of the league. Mm-hmm. But top 10 is a little generous, especially considering, he's getting up there in age and he's coming off an injury that kept him out an entire season. We literally saw him for like one snap last year. So I think, little generous for sure.
Number 10, the guy who took Aaron Rodgers' place, Jordan Love, Green Bay Packers. Now, he had a hell of a finish last year. But now, it's going to have to be, where does Green Bay go? And, they're going to be in the same division, obviously, with Detroit. And there's some stuff going on. So we'll just see how that plays out.
Yeah, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is a top 10 quarterback in the league. Jordan Love sure as hell ain't a top 10 quarterback in the league. That's extremely generous. It's ridiculous to have him in the top 10, in my opinion.
Well, here's another guy who may not be a top 10 quarterback. Certainly, I would suggest that, he's a little too streaky for my taste. Number 9 is Justin Herbert of the Chargers.
It's those fingers. You got to stop breaking those fingers.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
Every year he breaks a finger and it like affects his, and it's the worst injury because he plays through it and it affects his throwing, his everything. Or I think the last 2 years he's dealt with a rib injury too, that he always finds a way to get hit hard in the ribs somehow. So like he's got to learn to protect himself is really what it is, because he's letting the hand flail and breaking fingers when he's doing these throws. And he's obviously not protecting his chest area good enough because he's taking helmets there and breaking ribs. So I agree with you. He's got to be better self-harm management is really what it is. You got to protect yourself out there on the field. You can't expect the defender to protect you. The league can introduce all these rules where they're not allowed to tackle you, but at some point the offensive player still has to protect himself in some way.
Eventually they will tackle you, but maybe you should wear a flak jacket.
It might be dressed by like the Michelin Man by the time he tackles you, but you know, eventually it's gonna happen. They're gonna bring you down. It's still the sport somehow.
He's gonna wear a goalie outfit, so that's your 9 guy. Your 8 guy, Dak Prescott, Dallas Cowboys.
You're joking, right? That's a joke. Please tell me that's a typo.
No, that's
Dak Prescott. We didn't even think he was going to be a Cowboy this season. We got him 8th in the NFL. Get the hell out of here! What is this?
Oh, I don't know. CeeDee Lamb is back. They got a new left tackle.
And that's the thing. They were talking about trading him, and we were like, where is he going to go? Who's going to take Dak Prescott? That's your 8th best quarterback. Someone's going to want him then if he's the 8th best quarterback in the NFL. Yeah,
see, I'm sure his agent's printing this thing out from CBS right now.
Seriously.
Then at 7, the Eagles, Philadelphia Eagle quarterback Jalen Hurts, who had what can only be mentioned as one of the most tumultuous seasons in 2023. It was, it was some bizarre play out there for Jalen, and down the stretch they bit the bit.
He's another one where I wouldn't call him a top 10 quarterback from what we saw last year. He's another guy where he got paid his money. And then all of a sudden, dropped off last year. But not just that. It wasn't just his performance. He became like the biggest toxin in the locker room that there was. Right. So I don't know how you can have that around the team. Because when I look at a top, you got to have a leader in a quarterback. That's your leader, too. That's not a leader right now. So obviously, the Eagles, they went from Super Bowl loss to terrible collapse last year, but maybe they turn it around this year. Really, it's up to him. It's him that's got to change the mindset.
Number 6, Lamar Jackson, who, by the way, this year happens to have a new guy standing behind him, and that'd be Derrick Henry. So that's a nice little toy to have.
Yeah, it's gonna be a dangerous team. I mean, I don't think we need to say anything about Lamar Jackson. Probably should be higher on the list. Actually, what did you say he was?
He's 6, and I agree with you because number 5 is C.J. Stroud, the second-year quarterback of the Houston Texans.
And we still have Josh Allen. I haven't heard you say Josh Allen, so you're telling me he's better than Lamar Jackson. Like he's got to be on the list sometime in the next 5. I don't know about that.
Number 4. We just said C.J. Stroud at number 5. Number 4, the Bengals, Joe Burrow.
Josh Allen's a top 3 quarterback with his interceptions. That's a top 3 quarterback in the NFL.
He is 3, actually. That's the name.
Man, I would love to know the criteria for the list.
I don't know. Basically, Josh Allen is the one-man roller coaster. It's some days you're looking at it and go, wow, that's spectacular. Other days you're like, ooh, wait a minute, what just happened?
We talked about how Joe Flacco can give you a whole career in 60 minutes. Well, Josh Allen can give you a whole season in 60 minutes.
Right. Mr. Irrelevant is number 2. Brock Purdy, San Francisco 49ers. I'm glad he's getting respect. I don't know that he's the second best quarterback in the league, but certainly I'm glad to see he gets respect.
Nobody loves Brock Purdy more than me. I've been like his biggest fan all of last year. I love the kid. I'm happy he's getting this kind of respect. He's a phenomenal quarterback. He's not the second best quarterback in the NFL. That is a little ridiculous. Okay, I would put him in the top 10 for what he's done in his first 2 seasons. But come on, number 2, like he's also got a hell of a team around him as well.
Well, yeah, that doesn't hurt. It always helps to have a team around you. It also helps to have a head coach who's an offensive coordinator who is, a quarterback savant. So that all of that plays into it. I think he's probably, if I were ranking this, I would put Brock at anywhere from 5 to 8, something like that, in the top 10.
I was thinking like 7. Look, I'll be the first one to hit the gas pedal on Brock Purdy. I have been the last year, but I'll also be the first one to hit the brakes. All right. Number 2 is a little too generous here. All right. He's a great kid. Maybe he grows into the second best quarterback one day. I mean, it is about, you could look at him and then Tua Tagovailoa and say, both have great teams. One produces the results. So there is that, but still, he's got some developing to do. The same reason why CJ Stroud at number 5 is ridiculous. You still have some developing to do. And CJ Stroud, Brock Purdy, we've seen, I guess, a season and a half now. And so he followed it up last year. CJ Stroud could drop off from what we saw last year. We really don't know what he's going to be like in the second season. We just assume he's going to continue being great because why wouldn't he? But you never know. It is the NFL.
Right. And you're also one injury away from not playing at all.
Exactly. Like Anthony Richardson last year.
100%. That leaves us with the guy who the Kansas City Chiefs calls quarterback, Patrick Mahomes. I don't think anybody's going to argue that Patrick right now, he's the winner. He just goes out and wins football games.
I wasn't expecting you to say another name, number 1. That's for sure. You didn't have to tell me the names on the list for me to know who was going to be number 1 at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's the only lock in this list, is number 1 position. So a little fun with it. Patrick Mahomes and the rest of them. Not so sure that's how things are popping up, but you do what you can do. Kind of a funny thing. I don't know how many people were watching the Rangers game last night, but ESPN pulled a really bonehead move, and that was in the third quarter with the game tied. And they were in the middle of action. All of a sudden, they're gone, and they're doing the pregame show for the Western Conference game, the Dallas game. And you're like, well, wait. The New York game's not over yet. Where are you going? So, what are you going to do?
Someone hit the wrong button there.
Yep. They came back with 30 seconds to go, and away you go. All right. A piece penned by my buddy Dennis Dodd, and it's about a brand new college basketball tournament. It's going to be held in Las Vegas. It's one of a kind, men's basketball event to be staged, in Vegas, especially. It's going to be finalized in the next couple of weeks. CBS Sports, Dennis Dodd broke this story, and basically what it's going to be is going to be a college basketball called the Players Era Festival. It's going to be played in November, and it's going to be played, with the glitz and the glamour on the Las Vegas Strip. And they're trying to figure out if they can get it pushed into the Thanksgiving weekend or Thanksgiving week, one of the two. In a college sports first, the event is going to be, this is the cool part of it. The way it works, it's going to include $1 million in NIL payouts from 8 participating schools. That's more than a player involved will have in future earnings, opportunities, from a lifelong, NIL contract. So Alabama's coming from the SEC, Houston from the Big 12, Notre Dame, Oregon, Rutgers, San Diego State, and Texas A&M are all on board with this. Now, whether or not they're going to be the final group, we don't know. But these are the first eight to sign on to that list. The Players Festival is not being pitched as a one-year happening. They plan on making this an annual thing. Their target is to have 16 teams in this tournament by 2025 and beyond. They have engaged Duke, Gonzaga, Kansas, Michigan, Syracuse, and Virginia, all in conversations about playing, starting for them in 2025. So there's what we first might be, what might be one of the first of these new NIL focused, made for TV events.
Yeah, it sounds like they're just, really, it sounds like they're just trying to create events to play in Vegas now because they love being in that atmosphere. But hey, I'm all for it. Another tournament. Let's get some real games under your belt, not just play cupcakes for an entire season and then wonder why we didn't end up in the Final Four.
Yeah, that would be pretty much how it goes. But yeah, I think that this is going to be, it's going to be a lot of fun, and I think that they might as well get it done and have fun out in Vegas, and like we said earlier, the possibility of of the bowl games actually starting to pay players in hopes of getting them there, certainly might be it might be the best way to go.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously, you said there's going to be NIL money attached to it. So always
$1 million.
That gives them the incentive for sure. So
it what would be the best of this, right? Is a winner take all. Feel like a wrestling thing, where it's like, okay, we'll see.
Really get the best effort there.
Yeah, get it done. So there you go. Any thoughts on today's game? In the should have mentioned in the Champions League.
Yeah, I talked about it earlier when
I was gone.
Yeah, when you disappeared. All I said is, like I said, I got a ticket on Bayern to win the whole thing, so I'm hoping for an all German final. But the fact that Dortmund got through yesterday, I will say it worries me for Bayern's chances. Just from a an entertainment perspective, I don't think UEFA wants two German teams in the final for Champions League. So if I had to pick, I think Real Madrid goes through today, but I'm hoping it's Bayern Munich.
Hey, I kind of think you're going to be happy with the result this afternoon. I think you might be looking at an all German final.
They could get the job done, so we'll see. I don't count them out, but yeah, it'll be an exciting match.
It'll be fun. Speaking about exciting, why don't you tell us about what's going on with you today?
Yeah, so make sure you check out my premium picks at bigal.com, pickadvisor.com, and theinsidersroom.com. The link's in the description below. I got a ton of soccer up today, across all leagues. I got to play on the Champions League game. If you're looking for a play there, it's on the total. And I also have a ton of plays up for Copa Libertadores, Copa Sudamericana later tonight, even the Mexico Liga MX playoffs. I have 2 plays up for that. So And I also have 2 MLB plays, so make sure you go check all that out.
There you go. 100%. We'll be there. All right, guys. Have a wonderful day. We will be back tomorrow, okay? Until then, for Amedeus, I'm Jim. Bye-bye.